Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sean's Mapping, or the Sultanate Empire, and in today's video, we are going to be continuing What If Civilization Started Over. Now, I would just like to say before we get into the video, if you are new to the channel or you are new to my videos, and again, like I said, my channel, then I suggest you check out the rest of the series that is on my channel of What If Civilization Started Over Season 1. That is right, season one, because this is only the beginning. I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, if my Wixo gets enough support and uh views, basically, if it gets enough support from you guys, essentially, on my channel, I will continue this for the four planned seasons that I have. I have 4 seasons planned for my Wixo until hopefully the finale, the final season, season 4 of the series. Now, again, if you guys support the Wixo videos and support the Wixo series, I will continue it all the way to season 4. But if you don't, I will cut it and eventually end it at a certain point whenever I feel like, it deserves to end. If you are not on my channel for my regular Wixo, go to my multiplayer Wixo that was uploaded. Check out the other channels as they also have some other stuff as well if you are not interested in my stuff. And also just kind of stick around for multiplayer Wixo as that is a thing I am doing with many of my friends. Anyways, I've been rambling on for long enough. Let's go ahead and get into today's video. Here we can see the latest update of the what's it called? The rankings, we have the orange team at number 1. Number 2, we still have India. Number 3, we have the Elderian Empire. It's hard to see, but number 3 is there. Their number is there. Number 4, we have the West African Empire. Number 5, we have the South African Empire. Number 6, we have the United Islands of Southeast Asia. Number 7, we have the North American Federation, or the Native American Federation, sorry, the Native American Federation at number 7. Number 8, we have the Holy Arabian Empire. Number 9, we have the Empire of the Horn. And number 10, we have the Finnish Republic. So let us go ahead and take a look at some things that haven't really happened in a really long time because the world's kind of been very chaotic. Now, if you remember way, way early on in the series, the reason that this area over here in like Siberia isn't colonized or claimed, and the rest of Siberia isn't explored because, well, they sent people over here exploring, and a lot of people went missing and died. They sent more people and they died and disappeared. But over time, as their equipment modernized and they now have vehicles like cars, since it is the 1930s right now, like 1932, and guns, exploration of this area has become a lot more easier, and their scouting parties and exploration parties aren't dying. However, they still do lose contact if they ever go into the unexplored areas. But the explored areas are a lot more fine. So let us go ahead and take a look at all of the countries that may be forming or expanding in these regions slash areas right about now. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we can see that this Central Asian country expanded up here into these areas right over here, creating 2 to 3 major cities. We can see over the span of about 3 years, the Russians were able to expand into all of this beautiful, beautiful, wonderful area right over here. Now, this wasn't one giant expansion because the Russians, well, they can't really do that because they are almost on the verge of collapse. They're not really on the verge of collapse just yet, but they are very close to being there. Because they did lose their mainland and a lot of their European, like Eastern European land, or well, Western European land, I should say. Western, Eastern, they lost a lot of their European land during a war with three of their rivals, and well, that kind of pissed off the population. So the population is kind of pissed off at the current Russian government. So the Russians expanded faster than the people would have liked, but they still expanded, which calmed down some of the people, not all. Now, the story behind this country is this country was created from all of the people that didn't like the Russian government that still existed after they finished their expansion eastward. This red one down here, well, these are people from this country that are trying to escape the Shangxing, I think it was the Shangxi virus that popped up in Korea. We're going to look at some more expansion down here by Hokkaido, as Hokkaido is going to expand into some territory, but that's only after the Koreans do some minor expansion, as well as they were able to completely remove the virus from their territory and their country. So they begin their slow expansion up into this area. And about as they're doing this, the Russians are finishing up their expansion eastward. So this takes place around the same general time. And eventually they stop expanding. Meanwhile, Hokkaido begins their expansion, uh, just like so, kind of expanding up this way, all the way up to like right about there, and getting fairly and extremely close over to this mysterious area. But eventually, by the time they reach like right about over here, they stop their expansion and cease all like expansionist activities up to like again right about here. And so this is what they're able to take. But let us go ahead and go to a different country that's going to be going through some things right about now. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we are at the number one power, the Orange Team, where we are going to be seeing some very interesting things take place and happen. Well, there has been a lot of disagreement within the government of the Orange Team, as the Orange Team is in fact a dictatorship. And the Orange Team has had a bunch of disagreements within their formal, proper government, and primarily over the controversy of this country down here, which is a part of the Orange Empire but refuses to unite. The government is split, as you may know. This Orange Team was formed from a union between two countries. And well, now that union is looking fractured. The northern country wants to take back this and the land that the Western African Empire took from them, while the country over here that borders the Western African Empire wants to kind of leave it alone, as they already have bad reputation and they don't want the people they don't want another coalition to form against them, basically. And that basically causes a fracture within the government, as all of the people loyal to this blue country that was over here are kind of like, hey, we don't want to do that. And all of the people loyal to the northern country are like, hey, let's go do this. And so we eventually see the Orange Team mainland fall into a bloody, bloody civil war. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we see the bloody civil war that I was talking about, where we see this country that was a part of the Union essentially break away from the northern portion and the northern part, which kind of causes a split amongst the population, as some of the population is split 50-50. Some of them love that the Orange Team returned, primarily a lot of the older folks, but a lot of the youthful young kids that grew up within the orange team feel like their government is evil. They feel like their government needs to be changed. And so some of them see this as a good thing. So you got the old folks, like people within their 40s to like 70s, and then the young folks with people in their like 30s to 20s. And younger, of course. Sorry, and younger, of course, like I was saying, that feel like the orange team, uh, deserves to change its government. But we do see Orange Team forces as the current ruler was expecting this. Like I said before, the Orange Team is in fact a dictator. And we see Orange Team forces quickly push into this area right over here, just like so. And they quickly secure three major cities that were close to the Orange Team border that this country controls. However, what they weren't expecting, well, what the leader wasn't expecting, was half of his military split with the country, which allows them to invade down in the south fairly easily, considering they have this blue country right here has a lot of support in the densely populated areas of the orange team, which is along the coast over here, and also they control a lot of the populated areas of the orange team, which is very unfortunate for the orange team due to the fact that well, they kind of need that population for their military, considering half of their military left. They attempted to launch operations in the densely populated areas, but they were met with strong resistance, and eventually the military split, causing this invasion and near encirclement of the Orange Team capital. Now, Orange Team forces in the north are forced to redeploy and redirect towards down here to prevent the invasion, which allows these guys, which allows this country to essentially excuse me, okay, something in my throat, um which allows these guys to essentially push back the orange team forces up here in the north. Not easily. The orange team is definitely still putting up a major fight, like a big fight up here, but they are getting pushed back slowly but surely. They liberate all three major cities, and eventually the only orange team forces that remain in this country are right about down here. Now, thanks to the orange team redeploying their forces, they're able to reclaim a single major city right down here, and they're even able to relieve capital forces and prevent a capital encirclement. However, it still doesn't change the fact that this country was able to get right onto the border of the orange team's capital and threaten it like it was nothing. But that's not the only thing that we're going to be seeing happening today. A country that has a very deep, strong hatred for the Orange Team, as this country used to formerly be a part of the Orange Team before breaking away and going to do their own thing, begins to invade from the north. And well, that is, in fact, the West African Empire. They feel like with the Orange Team fully gone and possibly either broken up back into a bajillion states to fight each other yet again, or uh, a change of government from their current ruling government to a democracy or maybe even a monarchy or something else, they decide to invade in the north, which isn't good because now they're being invaded on two sides and their military isn't as big as it used to be. Which means now they're starting to pull forces from their colony down here. Now, the native South American countries look at this and, well, they decide to begin to help the people within this colony. Primarily, Colombia decides to help the people within this colony. And after all of the Orange Team's troops within the colony leave the colony, we're going to go ahead and see the outcome of their pullback and retreat from the colony in 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with the aftermath of the Orange team pulling practically all of their military forces out of the colony. And due to that, we see three new North American countries. And we can see that colonization in South America, just like North America, is starting to slowly but surely end. Again, if you did not see the previous episode, I suggest you go check it out, as I will explain many of the things that have happened on the map. Let's continue our beautiful, glorious Civil War right on down here and see what else may be happening. But the Orange team isn't the only ones to get invaded. As you see, this Orange team down here, they're democratic. They are a democratic government. And they feel like the Orange team deserves a democratic government. Not the kind of democratic government that these guys are going to give, but a true, proper democratic government that has zero ties to the old Orange team. And so, using their navy and their military forces that they have, and also mercenaries that they've hired, they begin to invade into this country right over here. Now, because this country wasn't expecting an invasion like this, they begin to essentially continue to attack over here, and now they have to redirect military focus. All sides realize, hey, this isn't going as we had thought. And so, to preserve their great empire that they've created, the Orange team decides, well, both of these countries, they decide, hey, why are we fighting each other when we could lose our empire to both of these countries? And so, just for this moment, and they decide, hey, just for now, they will put their differences aside and reunite with each other for now, just for now, just to deal with the two countries that are currently invading them. Now, again, neither side is happy to do this, but it's what they think must be done to preserve the empire that they both theoretically built a long time ago. Now, this country, you probably may be wondering, how can a new country like this, which was only formed after the end of World War II, which right now only ended about 3 to 4 years ago, have a strong enough military to take on this country? Well, you gotta remember, the uh, West African the West African Empire is also invading this country. And on top of that, the that new country, this one down here, has received a bunch of military equipment and support from the West African Empire, as they see that that country is better than the current Orange team. And also they receive support from the the Sovereign Independent Council of Nations. You know, I'm probably going to change that name to the Independent Sovereign Nations Council, or the Sovereign Independent Council of Nations. Ooh, yeah, that's a better name. The Sovereign Independent Council of Nations. There, they all of the new countries has also received support and aid in, the formation of their military and a bunch of other stuff from the Independent Sovereign Council of Nations, or just the Independent Council of Nations, or just the ISCN, the ISCN. Um, Hence why they're able to do this invasion. But also, another reason they're able to do this invasion is because some people that want revenge on the Orange team, like this country right down here, this one, and this one, all five of these countries feel like the Orange team is the reason for their very collapse and conquest by the Dominion back way early on in the series during the Great African War, or the Great War of Africa, if you will. Now, these four countries feel like, well, we don't like you. You caused our deaths. So they're also funding, sending volunteers and equipment to this country, hence why they're able to fight this war. And I mean, eventually, even the civilian population begins to like the idea of a democracy since they've been under a dictatorship for so long. They feel like a democracy might be nice, considering they see how the West African Empire people live. As even though the West African Empire is primarily desert, their people live a lot better than the uh, Orange team. They live a lot better than people that live in the Orange team. They have a lot better lives. They have a lot better housing, medical care. Like they just live generally better than people that live in the Orange team. So the civilians begin to rise up, which causes them to lose their entire northern sector. And both leaders are very stubborn. They will fight to the last man. And I mean, the Democratic Orange team down here uh, basically continues to gain land just like so, without a lot of hassle or trouble or problem, as they continue to push and are received by Orange Team civilians with practically joyous jumps of joy and happiness that a democracy, a good one at that, might be brought to the Orange Team. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all we have for today's episode. I hope you really did enjoy today's episode. If you did enjoy today's episode, go ahead and hit that like button down beneath the video. If you didn't enjoy the episode, then go ahead and hit that dislike button beneath the video and tell me in the comments how much the video sucked. If you want to be notified the next time I upload or make a post onto my onto my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification icon next to the subscribe button. I'm Chance Mapping, or the Sultanate Empire. I hope you beautiful ladies and gentlemen enjoy the rest of your day and night, wherever you may be, wherever you may live. And I'll see all of you beautiful people in the next episode.